So ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We're going to start the session now. Warm welcome from here in Dubai to this, the third in the series of content conferences hosted by Dubai International Content Market. My name is Amanda Turnbull. I'm very honored to be your moderator today. I have over 30 years of experience, probably too many years, in media across print, digital, and TV. I've been here in the region based in Dubai for almost a decade. Most recently running the pay TV business for Discovery, pay TV and free-to-air for Discovery across the Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. Now I run my own strategic media consultancy, acting as a thinking partner for my clients and supporting them to deliver more value for their businesses, stakeholders, and viewers. However, today, my job is to keep our conversation on track so that you will all, as an audience, get the most out of the session. We have about 200 people dialed in for this session from across Europe, Asia, and of course the Middle East. Combination of production companies and content distributors on the call. So we're hoping for a very engaged audience. And as it says on the screen, you may send us your questions via the chat box and we will do our best to get to them in this session. The format for today is that we are going to have the first half, we're going to have brief 10-minute presentations from each of the three speakers. And this is important to give you the context around their companies and their content choices. And then in the second half, we'll go into the questions. We tried to structure a panel so that you get a good cross-section of the MENA broadcast business. It's a very complex business, multiple moving parts. So we're delighted, first of all, to have an all-female panel. And we have represented OSN as the traditional pay TV platform, now also running a successful SVOD service. From Jordan, we have Roya TV, which is the largest independent free-to-air Jordanian terrestrial broadcaster, now with a free OTT service as well. And from Egypt, we have Watch It, which is backed by the giant Egyptian free-to-air broadcaster United Media Services, who have about 15 free-to-air channels, and now also with Watch It, an OTT product as well. So a good cross-section from across the region and across the different types of broadcasters. So let me introduce you to our first speaker. So Ashley Wright is the head of vertical, is the vertical head, I should say. That sounds weird, the vertical head, for kids and family at OSN. So she's overseeing the content strategy across both linear and their OTT platforms. She's working with their channel partners, their affiliate channels, but also with responsible for OSN's own kids channels. And she's leading the development for new kids products as well for the company. She has over 14 years in the industry and has been directly responsible for the creation, distribution, and marketing of multiple successful television series from script to screen. And she's also been the EP on multiple kids series for brands like Hulu, Disney, and ABC. So Ashley, good morning to you. Welcome. And we take it away. Give us your presentation.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I will just load it up here. And go. Great. I'm hoping everybody can see this now.
Yeah, that's all good, Ashley. We can see it.
Good to go. Perfect. Well, first of all, thank you. I'm really happy to be here alongside these great executives talking about my favorite thing, which is content. I think everybody can agree there's been a lot of changes this past year, consumer behaviors. Obviously, everybody's been at home. Our businesses have had to evolve faster than they've ever had before. So it's only in all of our best interest to talk collaboratively as producers, distributors, and figure out what works best for our audiences and rights holders. So I will get into it. A little background for the people who might not be as familiar with selling to OSN and who we are in the region. We are the region's leading entertainment hub. We pride ourselves on broadcasting the latest movies, series, same time as the US, for anytime, anywhere access. We have a pay TV platform, we have an SVOD service as well, and we've been on the forefront of the digital side here in the region since the beginning. We are also the exclusive distributor for the Walt Disney Company's Disney Plus original content, both across our box and our streaming platform. We have exclusive programming from HBO, Disney, like I said, Viacom, Fox, Sony, just to name a few. So we really concentrate on premium, nowhere else content, both on pay and on SVOD. I have to mention our ambition to deliver, obviously, digital entertainment everywhere for everyone. And since there's more competition on the streaming side in the region, we've had to up our offering there as well. Last year, OSN rebranded its Wavo app to the OSN streaming app with the aim of unifying our traditional and digital offerings. Obviously, with the onset of COVID as well, the app grew by astounding 900%, and with a 1,700% increase in downloads for the app. So, you know, we've been working up a really good, strong base this past year and really trying to play catch up in terms of our offerings and volume. Whilst kids were stuck at home, we were able to announce that we were the exclusive distributor for the Disney Plus content, which was a huge win in bringing movies like Mulan and obviously recently Soul to the platform where nobody else could see it. And people weren't obviously hoping to go into the cinema just quite yet. Also, we relaunched our OSN app a few weeks ago when we made some major upgrades in terms of the UX, recommendation engines, algorithms, things that normally hadn't been seen only against our competitors in the region. So we're really excited about these developments. So just an overview, as we look at any acquisition or partnership, these are the 4 areas of quality that we look at. Exclusive content. Is this flagship content? Is it valuable to our audiences? We'd always love exclusive content, but that's not always the case these days. And it's certainly not the case for people who produce and own their own content. You know, it's not always possible, but what we do look for is it niche? Is it mainstream? Does it sit in our paid TV business or streaming? They don't always have to sit on each of those platforms, but it's certainly something that we look for. OSN Originals. By the end of the year, OSN is doubling in our original space. Obviously, local production is on the rise. The main objective here is obviously building a library of original content that is meaningful, inspired by the region. But maybe there's, you know, interesting investments, co-productions, everything that we can be adding into an OSN original framework, something that we're actively looking for. The 360 approach, like I said, for the content rights, is it available for pay? Is it available for OTT? These things are obviously very important when we're discussing, and has it been in the region before? Does it have an audience? If it has, it's not always a bad thing either. There's a model for that type of product, especially on the kids and family side, which I'll get into. And then obviously premium curation. Does it fit with our other studio content? Can it move the needle in terms of our audiences and sustain? So 4 pillars of what we look for in terms of quality for kids and family, but across OSN in general. And given that we are TV people, I figured I should show a video. And the webinar is called What's Trending. So just a quick video on what's trending on OSN. Which brings me to the most important thing that I'd love to talk about is our kids and family offerings. And we have a really large portfolio of kid-centric linear channels and that play into our content on OTT. Our affiliates like Nickelodeon and Disney and Kids Zone offer premium content for preschoolers through to tweens and teens. As I said, we're also the partner for Disney Plus Originals. And while not all of those are actually quantified as kids, they certainly play into a family profile, especially across OTT. And obviously we're able to offer that cinematic viewing, which is an integral part of our business, but not the whole strategy. So we're in the midst of a big strategy push to increase our editorial volume for kids and family with COVID and obviously the rise in regional competition for content. we want our audience to have the best of the most they want, and not just a few episodes of each season, but full, in traditional DVD terms, box sets, we like to say. That's, how we sustain and create habitual viewing on our platforms. And that's obviously what we're looking to acquire as well. Content trends for kids reflect a normal global appetite for volume. And what we showcase is mostly predominantly Western content. And that's traditionally how kid content has been made in the past. We've had to rely on co-productions and international networks and broadcasters to come in and finance projects and series. And so, these types of content can travel, they remain evergreen, and they remain of value for people like us at OSN. So we're looking at things that we hadn't really looked like before. We know that SpongeBob and Paw Patrol will do well here as they do outside the region, but what else can we be looking for? And the higher consumption of obviously YouTube and the exploratory of what else is out there has opened our eyes about other types of content that we can be looking for. And so it's kind of a little bit of a race to offer the best content to our audiences first and exclusively. But it's not to say that things a bit older, 5, 6 years older, that haven't been seen in the region are not of interest as well. I think they are. It's all about how we frame it within our premium, entertainment platform. So yeah, we're not just looking at independence, but AVOD first type programming as well as we move forward. So what is trending? The most important slide is, there's family content is the pillar to our streaming and linear businesses, is one of them at least. And there's been a massive local content demand as well, something, we see the rise of family co-viewing, and how does this play into actual acquisition mandates? So first of all, obviously, like I said, blockbuster content is still much priority. We have content from Disney and Paramount and MGM that plays into this, and we bring the newest and biggest releases throughout the year. Things like Mulan came out 3 months after cinematic, and to no extra cost to our subscriber base, so which was really important. But we're looking for more independent movies, even from Southeast Asia. The Nordics have really great independent films that are independently financed, things that traditionally you wouldn't see maybe 10 years ago, but we're really open to looking. I think with OTT, there's just such a high consumption of family movies that we really want to offer a wide variety of what's on the market now. And visual styles, that's important to note. CG, stop motion, 2D, any of this applies. It's really a flagship content is a great story. Does it resonate with kids? Does it resonate with families? These are really important to us. Also, with the rise of international players in the region, we have recognized that local content is even more important, and the animation production has been on the rise here for many years. Producers such as Badaya and their hit show Mansoor has been such a huge focus for the region, and we're even looking for more and more stories that are regionally applicable for audiences and that we can showcase in a very premium environment for OSN. It comes to no one's surprise that preschool volume is still very, very important. I have 2 kids under the age of 3, so I know it very well. And we are always looking for more preschool things that are independent or even edutainment in nature. I think regionally people really want a little bit of an education for all ages. It's certainly a driver, especially for Nick Jr., which is a very popular channel for us. So preschool volume, all visual styles, high volume would be great. And that's something certainly we are actively pursuing for all platforms. Watching up is a major trend that we've seen, maybe due to COVID and people not being able to go to the cinema anymore with their parents, either watching with their older brothers or sisters and their parents, and they're watching content that they normally might not have had the chance to see otherwise. Things like Mulan, we saw very young kids watching, but they're watching all sorts of things, lifestyle and 6 to 11 animated comedies. So kids are watching up, which is no surprise. And obviously the influence of YouTube has something to do with that as well. And to my last point is similar, is the family co-viewing lifestyle shows. These are hugely popular for audiences. They watch as families, most of them are at home. They'll rewatch themselves. They get really interested in whatever that topic is, whether it's cooking, even design shows. They actually work quite well for our family audiences. So yeah, we're absolutely looking for that as well in the format space. Maybe there's a way to be doing an OSN original around it. We recently, on obviously the OSN lifestyle front, did the Arabic version of Come Dine With Me, Yalla Natasha. It's been hugely successful. So how can we recreate that on the kids and family side and make it also content that travels and is resonant with our regional audience? So yeah, that is a very quick snapshot of what's trending. And I'm excited to go into it a little bit more with the other people on the panel.
Great, Ashley, thanks a lot. As you say, very quick snapshot, but very helpful, particularly that last slide, to look at, you know, what you're focusing on. So really appreciate that. We're going to move on now to Zaina. What we want to say for Zaina is that she is Zaina El Tal, graduated from the Arab Academy of Science and Technology from Egypt, hold a bachelor's degree in business administration, majoring in marketing. Zaina's been working at Roya TV since 2012, and she currently holds the position for Head of Public Relations, Marketing and Distribution. And Roya is such a great company. It is the largest independent broadcaster in Jordan and really well known for a very innovative approach to the business. So we're excited to hear from Zaina this morning. Actually, you're not in Amman this morning, you're in Cairo, I understand. And in a hotel.
Close to Palma this time.
Right, yeah, in a hotel room with somewhat patchy internet. So good luck. I hope you can get through it. We will be patient if you have a bit of sort of internet spottiness. But welcome this morning. Thank you for joining us. And let's hear from you on Roya TV.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible so that I don't make any technical errors. Just let me share the screen. Yep, here we go. Well, Roya Media Group basically launched around February. We were initially known as Roya TV, and we started off as a Roya, a TV station. It was a free-to-air TV station. The screen helped us a lot to understand what the market trends happening, such as Roya Kids. We created the Creative Lab project, forms and companies that helped us understand. Sorry, I think that's already done. So it helped us expand the business and create the Roya Media Group, which I'm going to go percent daily viewership rate in the kingdom. This is up to the latest research that was done last year. And Ramadan, we jump up to 54%. And we do have a VOD platform, which is an AVOD with, since we're a free-to-air TV station, and our website and mobile application, which has been ranked the number of stations since the past 4 years in Jordan.
So Zaina, if I may say, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but your internet is very patchy.
I think the digital era or the digital shift that has been happening at a local TV station, our content will. Yes, I can hear it. Wait, let me see. Hello?
Yeah, Zaina, sorry to interrupt you. We're not really hearing you very clearly. Can you maybe change to a different hotspot?
Yeah.
And I think maybe also if you turn off your video so that we can just
that
focus.
Would be better. Yeah.
Yeah. Turn off your video as well so that we just focus on your presentation.
Okay, that is done. Trying to figure out how to stop video. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, let's give it a go with that. And maybe you just want to back up so that you go back to slide 2 because we lost so much of it. So just go back to slide 2 and start again there.
Okay, we were talking, I was just sharing some data about our TV live streaming that we have. We have around 29% daily viewership rate of the Jordanian population. In Ramadan, usually it's people tend to binge watch a little bit more. So our rates jump up to 54% of the population. On applications, we have around 600 million views on our application, and we are the #1 application for the past 4 years in Jordan, both on Google Play and App Store. We actually started as creating Jordanian content. We were very well known for entertainment, for youth, for reality shows. And I think the digital era, the digital shift that has happened has helped us understand that we're no longer catering for the Jordanian market. And we've realized, and I listed for you the top 5 countries, whether it's live streams online or on the VOD platform. You'd notice that, for example, for the live stream, we have the Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, America, Turkey, and Germany. And for VOD, we have a lot of viewers from America, Palestine, France, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. And this kind of shift that we've seen helped us actually. Yeah. Am I still cutting off?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Maybe let's make the suggestion that we'll go to Fatma while you can see if you can sort out the internet, or do you want to struggle on? You've got 3 more slides, right?
Yeah, actually, it's just going to be as quick as I can if you want.
Okay, well, keep going. Let's see how we go, because this is now this is the content part, so we're really interested to hear what it is. Let's see how we go.
Okay, so we're going to be as transparent as possible within the budget restriction. Yeah.
Zaina, sorry, one more thing. Can you just try and make your slides full screen?
Yep.
There we go. Brilliant. Thank you.
Given the budget restrictions we actually have, we tried to stick with originals, our own originals, because we couldn't afford to acquire so much of our content. And this is why under the Creative Lab project, we're always interested to find a production co-producer to help us with drama. As you know, online drama always does well, and it's the top rated or most viewed content. In our case, we were very well known with comedy and dramedies, let me call them that way. So our top viewed content was Jalta, which is a family comedy of a Jordanian family. Watan Awatar is more of a political, sarcastic comedy show that you do comedy sketches. And 4-in-1 are 4 YouTubers that we recently, unfortunately, lost one of them last month on a car accident. Well-known YouTube bloggers, and we created a show for them in Ramadan. So usually in content for TV, we're always interested for entertainment, reality, cooking shows. And for our VOD, we're always interested in co-producers to help us do dramas mainly and comedy shows. Recently, we've launched Ru'ya Kids, which is a SVOD application. We do have a free version. It is not an AVOD. We do not have ads whatsoever. And the concept is to provide safe content for families. We started off on a YouTube channel, and we were surprised with the numbers of views we were getting on just simple songs. As you can see, we had a 3-minute song for kids, and we started getting views as high as 25 million. And this is where we realized there's a huge gap in the market of our interest, our demand for kids content. So we launched Ru'ya Kids application 2 months back. We created, as I said, the free version and the SVOD version. We jumped up to the 2nd highest application within 2 weeks after the launch in Jordan. We do have categories of stories, games, shows, and songs. Our main objective is to have interactive application for the kid. We're now only on mobiles, and hopefully very soon we're going to be launching on smart TVs. I forgot to mention as well that for Ru'ya TV right now, we're an AVOD system, and our future vision is to launch as an SVOD, hopefully by next Ramadan. We're still going to be a catch-up service. So that's our objective for next year. I just tried to categorize as in genres what we're looking for at the moment. For Ru'ya, we are interested to look into drama, specifically Arabic. We're happy to look into other dialogues or regions, but this is our main objective. We're definitely interested always in entertainment shows. We do have a weekly slot for entertainment shows on weekends. For kids content, we're interested for kids shows and kids stories. And the creative lab is we're happy to look into all kinds of genres. We take the show, we look into it, and we develop further, or we co-produce it if needed. So thank you. I'll leave the questions if you have any once we're done.
Okay, great. Thanks, Zena, and apologies that you had some sort of technical issues.
I'm sorry from my side.
No worries. Just for the audience's benefit, just to let you all know that this session is being recorded. And so what we can try and do is iron out the bugs so that you can, if you want to go to the DICM website, hopefully you'll be able to hear a version of Zena's presentation without the technical issues. But you know, there we go. This is life in the region. So we all manage, we all adapt, we're all super flexible. So thanks for that, Zena, and we'll come back to you. I think you make some really valid points about collaboration and also what we can do around formats and investing. So we'll come back to you with questions on that for sure. Thanks very much. Okay, so now last speaker before we get into the Q&A, we're going to move on to Fatma. Fatma Manzi leads the content acquisition at Watch It, which is the first Egyptian SVOD platform, provides entertainment in all its forms, a very broad remit of content for the Egyptian market and also for the Arab diaspora worldwide. Fatma has a really great and deep knowledge of the Egyptian market, what people want to watch. Prior to joining Watch It, she was line producer and handled business development at one of the biggest production houses in the Arab world. And prior to that, she managed the dubbing operations for a leading MENA dubbing company. So she's really got a very long experience in this space. So Fatma, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. Welcome. If you'd like to share your screen, we can take a look at your presentation. Thanks.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, everyone. Thank you to have me here. I'm very excited to have this discussion with you guys. Just a quick introduction about Watch It. So Watch It is a premium SVOD service in Egypt. We just launched in 2019. So we have now 3 Ramadan season. As we know, Ramadan season is a hit in Egypt and Mena region.
Fatma, sorry to interrupt you. We can't see your screen. So we're still looking, I am still looking anyway at your introduction slide. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you. So Watch It is a premium service SVOD in Egypt. We just launched in 2019. We are part of United Media Services. Is a main broadcaster in Egypt. It has almost 15 free-to-air channels. Watch It. Watch It has more than 40K hours as content. Also, our big edge is Egyptian Premier League, exclusive streaming and also summaries. It's the Egyptian Cup and the Egyptian Super Cup. It's a service for all Egyptian audience across the world. Beside our library, which has movies, series, cooking show, kids, talk show, religious show, and entertainment shows. We succeed to acquire a big volume from classics, but as the market demand and as a trend for all OTT services, we already launched our originals last year. So second year of our beginning of our launch. Our first original was a prank show in Ramadan 2020. براءة اختراع خورشيد. Just after Ramadan 2020, we had our first series original, شديد الخطورة, action. It was seven episodes. Then Asaf Yunus, it's light comedy, 10 episodes. In our lineup, in a month, we will launch our news, thriller, and suspense series targeting youth, called تحقيق, investigation. And also in our lineup, we have a series, action series for a big star in Egypt, for who didn't know, Amir Karara. Actually, this year, 2021, we decided to try or to test the market, especially that Watch It is only, till now, we are only Arabic content, but we already acquired 9 titles from Spanish series, 3 from us, from them hit, so it's exclusive in Mena region. The Head, and The Paradise, and Los Internacionales. And also we have other 6 titles. This will be launched 1st of June, inshallah. For kids content, as we said, that we have more than 20 Arabic Egyptian titles, varies between classics and new titles. UMS is always keeping to produce between 4 to 6 titles each Ramadan for kids. But we acquired also from Turner or Warner Media now 6 titles. We Bear Bears, Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, Adventure Time, The Happos Family, Gumball, Magic Swords, Ben 10, Omniverse. And also it varies between age group. This, our Ramadan lineup for 2021. We had about 16 series. They were all exclusive. For Watch It in Egypt, except only 4 titles. So we have top views for sure here in Egypt, but top 1 was الاختيار 2. Watch It, we succeed to have a partnership with the 4 telcos in Egypt, Etisalat, Vodafone, We, Orange. Also outside Egypt, STC Kuwait and Omantel. And also partnership with Samsung and LG, as Watch It is available in all devices. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thanks very much, Fatma. That was brilliant. Really interesting to see what you're doing with Watch It, and you know, this sort of enormous flywheel, I guess, that you've got with your main brand behind you, in addition to the originals. So we're going to get into the questions now, and this is where it's going to get slightly complicated because I'm trying to moderate all of this, and everything is coming in on the chat box thick and fast. So first of all, we've got a question for Zaina. Is your network interested in co-productions? Actually, that's probably something that we could all address.
Exactly what we're looking for.
Okay, so I'm asked that for all of you because I think what's happened through COVID and because of the disruptions in the MENA business is that what didn't used to be such a collaborative approach has rapidly changed. So why don't each of you give us your opinions on co-productions and what you're looking for in what sense? Is there a specific area of content for co-productions? Are you open to everything? How do you see it working with formats, with non-formats? Let's have your views. Thank you. So Zaina, we start with you, then we go to Fatma and then to Ashley.
Actually, given the Creative Lab project, we do have a lot of ready shows, especially drama, comedy. Those are the most two, let's say, expensive kind of productions that we usually look into. We don't do films. So if I want to cut it down, we're interested in dramedies and comedies and drama series in general. And we do have a lot in our pipeline, especially for Ramadan next year. We do have everything ready.
And who is the sort of optimal co-production partner for you?
No one specific, to be honest. We're open. We're open to tailor whatever the deal is according to whatever it is, whether it's a VOD platform or a production house. We're quite open. There's no specific model we want to work with. We're gonna customize it based on who the second partner is.
Okay. Okay. And Fatma, what's your view on co-production and who you would want to work with in what space? And take yourself off mute. We can hear your words of wisdom.
Sure, we are welcoming co-productions and collaboration. It's familiar in Egypt, actually, since ages. So yes, we are welcoming, especially movies and drama. And we are open for any not a specific one, I mean.
Okay.
For me, it depends on content, actually. And on content and on topic and the idea. That's the main criteria for us.
Okay, that makes sense. Ashley, what do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, OSN is already heavily invested in the international co-production business. We obviously have a lot of in-house capability as well. So on the kids and family side, you know, co-productions, I've done co-productions all around the world. And what is important, I think, for OSN would be animated co-productions. Formats are interesting for live action and lifestyle and things that we could be doing locally with local partners. International co-productions and local co-productions are interesting as long as the content feels different than something that we could just acquire. There has to be a flagship quality to what that is, to put in that level of investment and to have an editorial impact on what is being produced and what is the value for our businesses together to move forward. So we are very much wanting to be in that side of the game, especially on the animation. There's so much opportunity there. So please always come to me if you have anything that might feel relevant to our region.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you all seem very open to that. I hope the audience taking note, and you can expect lots of emails after this, I'm assuming. Let's move the question on to, bearing in mind that we've got so many people on the call from our Asian partner countries, what is your view, each of you, on some of the Asian content? So maybe content from, say, Korea, Indonesia, China, Malaysia. Have you done anything with any of that content in any of your spaces? You know, what would be your views on that? Should we go in reverse order? Maybe Ashley, you start.
Sure. Yeah, Korean content, Korean animation is amazing. Obviously, it's done amazingly well on YouTube and now places like Netflix, projects like Larva. We are absolutely looking for that high-end Asian animation for our platform. I'd be very, very open to looking at acquisitions for that.
Yeah, okay. And Zaina, are you looking at that? I mean, with your new kids product, is that something of interest for you, or? You have to come on. Oh no. Zaina, hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
Okay. Definitely, as Ashley said, Korean animation is one of the best top-notch kind of content that you can provide the kids. So definitely we're interested in that for Ru'ya Kids application. To be more specific, other than shows, we are interested in stories that we can later on dub or do to suit the Arab world, but this is something we're interested in, yes.
Okay, good. And Fatma, what's your view?
Korean content it's interesting, and I think it is going well in the MENA region. For us, it's not in our short-term plan actually, but it's in our plan.
Yeah, in the longer term plan. I mean, I guess it's all a question of budget and experimentation and
budget, and also when we started with specific strategy, so it's not in our coming years plan, maybe in 5 years or 3 years.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, slightly broader question. I think what we've seen, and actually I must say that this is from my conversations with my good friend Hiba Koryam, who is an H consult. What we're observing is the rise of independent viewing. So not so much more, I mean, of course, there is still family viewing. It's very important, multi-generational viewing. But because of COVID and people being at home more, and because of the proliferation of OTT platforms in the region, I mean, there are so many now, there is this rise of independent viewing. What have you observed in each of your markets or your spaces? You know, for example, you've seen an increase in like almost a 20% increase in the production of thriller, crime and suspense shows. So what are you seeing as a result of this more independent viewing in terms of the impact it's having on your content choices? Fatma, do you want to start us off?
Regarding thriller, crime, suspense, this genre in general, I think we are talking globally, not only in MENA region, especially with the success of several titles. We all know them and watched them like Lost, Breaking Bad, and more. So I think it's a global direction. It's not only in MENA, and especially for youth. For watches, yes, we started actually the original we started last year was action. We can say extreme action, شديد الخطورة, and it succeed. It has a good impact.
Okay.
Ashley, on your side?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a volume game for us. Kids, obviously, they watch independently, they watch with the family. Probably the proliferation of devices has a bit more of an effect, meaning kids will rewatch on their own devices and then watch more and rewatch. So I think it's for us making sure there's enough for everyone and enough volume.
Okay. And Zaina, do you want to make any comments on that one in terms of independent viewing?
That's the beauty of it. You get to watch when you want, whenever you want, as much as you want, I guess. So Ashley summed it up in a way, and that is actually our slogan, ironically. And we changed our slogan accordingly, and we called it "With you wherever you go." So that goes exactly with our vision, that we try to target each person individually, so that they can watch whenever they want. And we've seen huge demand around the pandemic. So yeah. On a thriller basis, I have nothing to comment because that's not our field. No, but we work on reality. We've done reality shows that are more docu-style.
Okay, and talk to me a little bit about, I mean, whilst we're on this subject of independent watching, where have we got to with medical shows? We've got a question in here about, you know, through COVID and because of COVID, have the medical shows lost their popularity?
Well, I can just, obviously it's not my area being on the kids side, but OSN prides itself on being the home of medical dramas for the region. We have the latest from Grey's Anatomy and New Amsterdam, and I promise you there has been no restraint on the consumption of these types of shows. So I think people love a cathartic storytelling experience. Unfortunately. Some things are a little too close to reality, I think, these days, but no, it's popular more than ever, especially on OTT.
Okay. And we're getting some questions in here on, oh, this is the classic major question, isn't it? What works better for the MENA region, dubbing or subtitling? I know you're all going to have views on this. What is the percentage? Tricky. Yeah, I think that is, we could do a whole webinar on dubbing versus subtitling, I think. But why don't you give us your top line views for what works in each of your markets? I know it's very content specific, but Zaina, why don't you start with that one?
We've never tried subtitling, to be honest. We've only tried dubbing. And it did better than expected. So we never subtitled our content, so I don't have a view on that. We can't elaborate on it, but dubbing does well in certain accents. We have to go with a certain dialogue to fit we're more of a Levant kind of, we target Levant a little bit more. So.
Okay. Fatma,
that's our scope.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And Fatma, what's your view from Egypt?
My view on from Egypt, actually, it's always a magic word, content. It depends on content, so you need subtitle or dubbing. Even for dubbing, which Arabic, we have Egyptian Arabic, we have Syrian, we have white accent. So it always depends. But from my point of view, also the pandemic has a big effect on dubbing. I think worldwide, not only in Egypt, not only in MENA region. So even I saw a lot of Turkish, for example, series with 120 episodes. Now they are directing to subtitling. That's because of the pandemic, and especially dubbing studios, it's very risky. But it's always about content. For us, for our experience, for example, for Spanish series, we subtitled. We didn't dub. Especially Egyptian not familiar with the Spanish language, so we had to do both subtitles, English and Arabic.
Okay, makes sense. And Ashley, in the kids' space?
Well, I mean, traditionally, kids, almost all of our kids' content is either dubbed for the younger kids, but we do subtitled on our live action teen and tween content, and it is still consumed, but our audience is obviously a strong mix of Arabic and English speakers as well. But you know, I think it's about giving the kids a choice of watching in whatever language that they prefer, and we do find they watch in both a lot of the time, so it's an interesting area.
Okay, right, let's come on to some questions about when you're acquiring. I guess this is more looking at your budgeting and your fiscals. So there's a question here about when are you acquiring most of your content, which period of the year for each of you? Is there a specific time? Is it ongoing? I mean, obviously Ramadan is key. So what are your views on that? Is it the case that now we have so much OTT that there isn't, I mean, yes, there's a Ramadan peak, but there's also, you know, the rest of the year to fill on your new OTT products as well. So what about time?
The selling year is in all markets is now just yearly around the year. I think on a linear side, speaking to that, obviously we have to work a little bit more quarterly. We need a bit more lead up, the planning, the scheduling, but it's not like we couldn't respond to new acquisitions as well, especially on our movie channels and such. But OTT is yearly. It's always immediate, but it can be long-term as well. So if we know something really big is coming down the line, and even 6 months to a year, we can jump on it, or if it's available next week, we can jump on it as well.
Okay, and Zaina, is that the same for you guys?
Well, for TV, yes, we never close our doors. We just schedule according to our grid. So let's say something comes up now, we're already closed for this grid, we take it for the year after or the next grid. In Ramadan, though, where we start acquiring a year ahead. So right when Ramadan started this year, we are already closing Ramadan 2022. So we do work in two different strategies. And Ramadan, like hopefully in a month, we should close the doors for Ramadan content. But for other shows, all year round.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so lots of opportunities. And Fatma, for you, same thing?
Acquisition plan, yes, it's around the year as well, but it depends for OTT MENA region. It's our year is from Ramadan to Ramadan. It's not from January to December. So our plan, it's always between Ramadan and before Ramadan, and after Ramadan, we have to put in mind the flow of content. But for sure, it's around the year. The market is never saturated with OTT service.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a hungry machine, isn't it? Okay, well, this is an interesting question that's just come in. I heard that TV series in which women are the main characters are more popular in Turkey. What is the situation in MENA? Okay, interesting question. One close to my heart, since I'm very involved with promoting women in the business. Any views on that?
Well, we just on another note, we just recently launched OSN Women, which is a fully focused women channel for the region. It is local content, it's Western content. It's all about celebrating women in the region as well. So absolutely popular, it's doing very, very well. And it's kind of the first of its kind here, which we're really proud to be a part of.
Mm.
I know they're looking for things as well, so I can put you in touch with the right people.
Yeah.
Scripted and non-scripted.
Okay. Zaina, anything to add on that one?
I think I'd rather get back to you in Ramadan 2022 on that one. This is the pipeline. Yeah, so it's too early for me to jump in there. But as a woman panel here, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna agree.
Yeah. But why don't we talk a little bit about the trends that you saw from Ramadan this year? I think that, as far as I can see, socio-cultural drama is still in the #1 spot, so dramas set in the home or in society. What are you seeing in each of your markets about what was popular? And was there anything that you thought was different this year?
As long as you can relate to it, I guess. Dramas always, you need to connect to the story. It's all about how well you're coping up. What's the cliffhanger that's happening every single day of the episode? How well the story is written, and it's not just an extension. It's like a lot of productions nowadays. You notice, they're just persistent to give you 30 episodes, and the story can end in 5 episodes. So we always dig very deep into the story. That's why even when we produce our own kind of shows, we have a big room of writers' room that go over first draft and second draft and third, and it keeps going till the very end. So what did well? Actually, everything we've acquired in Ramadan did very well. We had a common thing with Fatma. We had Robert Newton. We had 2020, which is for Nadine and James, that did very well, I think, everywhere in the Levant region. And we had a Syrian show that's a bit similar to Bab al-Hara that we grew up on, at least for the Jordanians, Palestinians, Syrians. It's a cultural kind of content that people got used to. So yeah.
Okay. And Fatma, do you want to make any comments on what worked for you in Ramadan, what maybe you were surprised by this year?
Among our 16 series this Ramadan, I think it was a big success, but we can talk about Al-Ikhtiyar. Al-Ikhtiyar 2. It's the second part of Al-Ikhtiyar. It's parts from policies and and the story, especially this one, this year, الاختيار اثنين, was about the terrorism in Egypt from 2012 till now. That's why we will have part 3. And it was a hit and a big success. Also, as you said, Amanda, social cultural drama, it has something for audience, especially Arabic audience. We always have some emotional towards this genre. Yes.
Yeah, it feels relevant, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got to manage the time here. We've got about 3 more minutes. DICN people are telling me we can extend for a couple of minutes if we want to. We've got some questions pouring in now. A question for you, Zaina. Are you investing in formats in non-scripted? And, you know, for example, cooking or reality? So the first question is, are you investing? And the second question is, and would you do that as a co-production? That's...
Yes, actually, we've acquired a couple of formats that hopefully, you're actually going to see 2 of our formats. I'm not going to release them now, but in the next month or so, you're going to find them on our screen. So we always look into formats. Cooking never goes wrong. People love food.
Yeah.
Especially if it has this competition kind of vibe, entertainment. It's a little bit of, you're learning something versus it's entertainment. So yes, we are interested in doing that. We have it on our grid every single day. It's a daily show for cooking spots.
Yeah, no, food is a big thing, isn't it? Okay, and there's one more question here is about PG ratings. It's just not sure if this is one that we should be taking at 11:58, but anyway. The question says, we know there is isn't a one-size-fits-all for content in MENA, but what are the limits of content in terms of PG ratings? Ashley, why don't you start with that?
I mean, I can talk about it very medicinally. We follow obviously a Saudi kind of cinematic broadcast code, and then our own broadcast codes internally. You know, traditionally PG content obviously means parental guidance, but when we intake any type of show that may be even on the edge, obviously we make a consensus in-house, especially towards linear or OTT. PG rating usually means, you know, it's okay for unsupervised kids 8 and older, but parental guidance for usually 8 and under. There could be sci-fi violence, but maybe not bloody gore violence. Obviously, no sexual suggestive scenes or anything that is culturally inappropriate. But for the most part, it's just really family safe viewing. You know, streaming, we don't treat it differently or separately, but there's a little bit more leeway due to a consumer behavior of choosing and the knowledge rather than just bypassing it on a linear channel. So we can look at those things a little bit differently in terms of consumption. But
okay. Okay, so I think probably I can't, I'm conscious that we need to draw this to a close, but I can't let you go without asking you the sort of obvious question, which is, in each of your views, let's just have literally a minute, 60 seconds from each of you. What is, do you think, the next big thing for you in OTT? So Zaina, shall we start with you? You've obviously got lots of plans for Roya, but what do you think is the next big thing? Are you very focused on your kids, or what's it going to be?
We're working in parallel because they're separate businesses at the moment. They're not overlapping under any circumstances. Well, each business has a different strategy. For Roya Kids, we're planning to grow outside Jordan. It's not going to be, we're worldwide. For Roya TV, we're going to do the shift from AVOD to SVOD, and I think that's going to be the biggest shift that's going to be happening with us. And for the Creative Lab, we hope to start kicking off some co-productions.
Yeah, well, I think you've got a lot of interest in them.
Yeah.
Okay, Fatma, for you, next big thing for Watch It.
Next big thing, we have in our lineup more than 6 originals. Two of them with big star here in Egypt and MENA region. I think we started big, Amanda.
It's true. I mean, considering you're what, only 3 years old, right? So you're doing
Yes.
amazing.
No, I'm kidding. No, but I think I think originals it's a must for all OTT services, not the acquisition.
Yeah. Okay. And Ashley, finally to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same answer. Originals is where everybody has to be at this point. And obviously just elevating our own content to feel more than just, you have to attract a different type of entertainment space for people to stay and watch. There's too many options now. So making sure that we represent more than just content provider, but an experience for a certain demographic.
Yeah. Okay, great. And I feel sort of, perhaps each of you would just explain how best people can get in touch with you. Obviously, there's a lot of interest around co-production. So if you wouldn't mind to share how people can reach out best to you, maybe through the ICM, but if you're...
my email and
email, same.
Ashley.OSN.com.
Okay, great. All right. So thank you all very much, ladies, for your inputs this morning. Really enjoyed it. To the audience, thank you very much for your engagement and all the questions. Again, we will make sure via DICM that you can reach out directly to the panelists in case we haven't answered your questions. I need to remind you that there is another one of these sessions on the 2nd of June, which is going to be the best in Korean content. But meanwhile, my sincere thanks to Fatma from Watch It, Zaina from Roya, and Ashley from OSN. And we will see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye, guys.